Your Jia is always with you, Rabbiya ji.
Good evening, friends. Thank you for joining me every evening to follow what's happening in India and abroad. Thank you for sending me your useful comments and suggestions. If you believe in this channel, do share it with your friends and spread the message. Our only mission is to bring you the truth and both sides of the story. Thank you for your support. Today we have Rabbiya Khan and Deepti Pinniti back with us to tell us more details of what has happened. Apparently, there are many discrepancies in the report that both the Mumbai police and the CBI had given regarding Jia Khan's death. A legal review of Jia Khan's murder was done by Nafiza under an all-international dependent panel. They reveal, for instance, the bouquet that was given to Jia Khan before her death to suggest the breakup was false and made up by the police. And the psychoanalysis done by Dr. Ranjita Kumari in the CBI report showed that Suraj Pancholi did not participate actively in conversation and used low-pitched voice on relevant issues. His eye contact was poor, his attitude was negative towards the assessment and the examiner. Today, Rabbiya Khan, Jia's mother, will speak about these discrepancies in part 2 of these sessions on Jia Khan's death, which now seems even more than ever a murder. Viewers, you'll note that at many points there are parallels with Sushant's case, which Deepti will also elucidate, in between. Thank you, ladies. Welcome to our program, Rabbiya and Deepti.
Yes, Meenaji, I have to say that for almost 3 years, when I was struggling with police and CBI and the Bombay High Court and Supreme Court and the trial court, by producing evidences which were not part of the charge sheet. So I went through hell, because it is not I'm a common person and I'm a mother, and I am not an investigating person or work for some FBI or CBI or NIA or anything. I am a housewife. I raised 3 daughters. That was my part of my life. But for CBI and police not to do their job is, in Jia Khan's case, in Sushant's and Disha's case, is nothing very shocking to me now, because it is not that they are not competent. It is not that they do not know what to do, but it is they did not want to put the intellect. They did not want to do the job. For that reason, as I told you in my previous interview with you, that I collected evidence from the police. Now, police gave it to me thinking, oh, bichari, now it's shut and it's all gone, and, forget it, give it to her, she's asking. And I took it in writing from them through the lawyer. So they gave it to me because I have the right as a mother. So when I took that and I went as a restless soul, believing and convinced that my child has not taken her life because she had no reason for doing that, I went to top forensic experts. There are forensic experts in the world who are willing to look into your material that you bring. So what material would I take? I would take charge sheet, right? Because otherwise these experts also, they don't just want to hear from me, my point of view. They want to know the legal point of view. What has the police said and what has the CBI said about on that, all these investigation teams. So looking into their things, then, like Dr. Jason Payne made a report. That report, with great difficulties, I submitted to High Court, and through High Court, through Supreme Court, then I submitted to the trial court. There was a lot of objections in accepting even that report. Now, after even doing that job, when I was not
You're
finding
talking,
any...
Rabbiya ji, you're talking about the Indian court.
Yes, about the Indian court, Indian Mumbai High Court. So after not receiving any good response from the high courts, and I went, I met a solicitor firm in London, who actually, after reading an article, Who Killed Jia Khan, it had come on a very leading, highest subscribed magazine. It is a weekly, like a weekend magazine, and a newspaper called Guardian, and it has got a magazine called Observer. So the headline was, Who Killed Jia Khan? And that that was read by millions and then was picked up by solicitors, by media, and by televisions, and like BBC also picked it up and all. Read the article and approached me that, look, we can look into the legal aspect of your case and make a report and submit it to the CBI or to the court or to the media, because it is all about perception. Now, as poor Deepti has been struggling with Shri Devi's case, and as we know about Disha and Sushant, it was, Minaji, the first perception. And this is what police is very expert about. They want to change the perception and the narrative of the whole fact. Exactly what has happened, they want to divert you from that fact, from that light into the darkness. Now, like police, I said, why will my daughter commit suicide? Why? What proof do you have? Oh, she had a breakup bouquet received by Jia from Suraj Pancholi. I said, breakup bouquet? There was no bouquet in the house. So they said, we saw it on CCTV. In my previous interview, I discussed about that bouquet that the servant brought, and he didn't even have that courtesy as a boyfriend to give the congratulation, all the best bouquet to her, because she has signed the films. Now she's supposed to be the love of your life, dream of girl of you, and you're in love, you're thriving and entertaining on her money. So why would you not go and say all the best to you yourself? So police concocted this story. We came to know from CBI's charge sheet that it was the police who has concocted this story. Now, my question is, why did CBI did not bring these officers to court to answer that? Why did you create this story? So it looks like, very much that CBI was under Maharashtra government and the Maharashtra pressure.
Yeah.
So the panel...
Rabbiya ji, do you remember the names of the top officers, Mumbai police officers who were investigating this case?
I don't know whether, it's quite dicey to take names on your platform. So I think I should avoid that for your security and as well as for mine. Let's not get into that, taking names. But everybody knows after what Waze and Parambir has exposed, I don't even need to take the names because it's so obvious now, Minaji. Right. Now, when panel looked into both charge sheet that was filed by the police and by the CBI, they came to a conclusion and of 300 pages and concluded that this death of Jia Khan was not suicide but homicide. Now, I will read. They said, there are substantial concerns about the investigation process and the techniques used and the interpretation made by the investigating officers in the case of Jia Khan. There are a number of serious issues concerned that suggest a real possibility of the death of Ms. Khan was a result of homicide. Homicide means murder, rather than a suicide. These issues of concern raised by Dr. Payne James, that is Jason Payne, are as follows. The nature of the injuries, as you have seen on the photographs, these photographs were taken by the police and were given to me, but were never a part of the charge sheet. Now, Meena ji, if these photographs are not in front of judge, what is judge going to think about? How is a judge going to know how was she found dead? What was the cause of injuries? How were the injuries on her body? So do you understand? So these photographs were taken by me, given to me by the police officer, the investigating officer, officially. So now when the trial was going on, I remember one of the officer even doubting, saying, now the problem can be in the court that these photographs are not official. I said, excuse me? So do you have a letter? I said, yes. So now everything, what happens, what you have, as Deepti must have also collected, you take it to the court, then they want to find out the authenticity of that. Yeah. Do you have a certificate? Did police give you in writing? Did you take it in writing? So,
diverting from the real issue.
Yeah, these are the real issues. Arey, madam, these days Photoshops, photo this thing. Somebody must have done this. Somebody must have. I said, no, my dear. You
Yeah,
can
yeah.
see, you can see in Gia's photographs. It is very well. She's laid on that stretcher of hospital. It is a hospital environment, and it's taken by the official police's official photographer. Right? Police's official photographer was not interviewed. Now, why are you not interviewing the police's official photographer? Why you're not asking him, did you take these pictures? Do you have many more or like that? So you see, this is all diversion. They want to just tell us that we are liars and they are the only
Yeah.
truth speakers.
Yeah.
So what I will
Deepti,
continue
I
with
think you wanted to say something.
No, regarding when she was telling about the photographs, I mean, Photoshop and her experience. Okay. So, after going through a lot of trawling for my genuine documents on Supreme Court, I was also afraid that my photograph with Samir Vankre sir too will be, dissected and, his eyebrow is a little higher than this photograph, and they will dissect that as well. Thankfully, they didn't stoop to that level. So, I was feeling it. Yeah.
Yeah. Please continue.
Basically, actually, what they do, they Photoshop on their computers. Say, madam, you have got this, but we don't have this.
Yeah.
Excuse me, but these are the photographs given in that CD by you. The CD is also yours. Now, you want to dissect whose CD it is, whose fingerprints are on CD? You can do that. Go ahead. Now, so Jason writes, he says, it is of great concern. The nature of injuries that appear on the neck does not appear consistent with a simple hanging of a dupatta. Now,
And that is a muslin. That is a muslin
that's a
dupatta, right?
muslin dupatta, yeah.
Yeah.
The malmalka dupatta.
Malmalka, that's very
Yeah.
soft and
How can it hold the weight of a
Yeah,
person?
not only weight,
wait, the mark,
injuries,
the mark.
the marks and the injuries, the way ligature is going. Now, malmalka dupatta will not create a harsh imprints. It is only some other object that will
Yeah,
create
which
a
has
hard. So Jason continues, says the mark to the neck are not, in the opinion of Dr. James, able to have been caused in this way, and the marks look much more consistent with a ligature that has been applied by another person or persons. Now,
so
do
more
you
people.
think, competent officers need some foreign expert to come and tell them
Tell them all this.
that this is what it is, this is how it looks like? Because from the very beginning, a very high-end officer told me he has got very severe pressure on him and has been told not to look into this case. Just avoid it. He was sympathetic, but not sympathetic enough, to have that guts.
Override.
Yeah,
Override it.
Yes, override it, and wanted me to bring, अरे कोई ठोक evidence लेके आओ. अरे इससे ज्यादा ठोक और क्या हो सकता है? तुम्हारी नजरों में the body is gone, but the photographs are the most important evidence that is left after the person is gone. Now, even in Sushant's case, as Minaji, you have seen the injury, ligature marks, the injection marks, the broken legs, and beaten, the bruises. The look at on his legs and everything. Now, nobody can Photoshop those things, but they are silent because they do not want to recognize that, because that is the only truth.
Rabbiya ji, it's not about competency or anything. If they take police training, see, there is a police manual, okay, and there are certain SOPs, standard operating procedures, set for investigating criminal cases, right?
Yeah.
And especially in case of an unnatural death,
Yeah.
both in Sushant's case and in Jia's case, okay.
Yeah.
They know that it should be treated as homicide until and unless proven otherwise. But here it
Absolutely.
happened contradictory. Here they went and declared it a suicide. It has suicide. That is one thing. Another thing is that the most important thing, the crime scene reconstruction.
Yes.
It never happened. I don't think they submitted the crime scene reconstruction report. Okay.
In anybody's case.
Yeah, and
Even
another thing. Yeah, another thing here. It is mandatory that any post-mortem done in India, okay, it needs to be videographed, the entire procedure of the post-mortem, okay. and the details need to be sent to the health ministry. The record should be there. Any postmortem, the record should be there in the health ministry records. Okay. So where is the videography of Sushant's postmortem?
Gia's is there.
Where GS is there? Yeah,
Yeah,
GS is
GS
there
is
because but then there are too many question marks on that postmortem
Yes.
report as well, because
Yes.
the ligature. Let me tell you what is ligature. Ligature is something which is used to tie someone.
Yes.
Okay. So the ligature
Ligature is the
marks,
material. Basically, ligature is the material with which
Material,
a
yes.
person. It can be anything. It can be a
Yes.
belt. Also, is called ligature. Dupatta is also called ligature. Anything that is tied is called ligature. Yeah.
Yes. So
And the marks created.
ligature marks report, yes, ligature marks report, according to the independent forensic reports that you have got, it clearly says that the ligature mark clearly shows that it is not death by hanging, because if it's death by hanging, then the this thing will be upwards. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. It will
But
create
here,
a V. It will create a V mark.
A V shape.
V
yeah.
shape.
Yeah, wherever it is hanged.
Yes, but it was this here in Jia Khan's case, the ligature mark was contradictory to this.
Absolutely, absolutely. Even
Yeah.
if it is tied double or triple, whatever,
Round.
the length of the dupatta is also not so much, and at the same time, the height, the length, and also the elasticity. Now, ये मलमल का है, मलमल में तो elasticity होगी नहीं. So जितना होगा दुपट्टा उतना ही आप कर सकते हैं. It's not chiffon or some polyester material that can stretch, or some
Stretch.
stretchable material, right? I don't know the kind of ligature was used in Sushant's case, but to me, like from the picture that I saw, was such a flimsy. It was such a flimsy, a weight of that man.
6'3" man.
Yeah, 6'3", and he was an athlete. He
Yeah,
he had a
80,
body
around
built.
85 kilos or 83
Yeah,
kilos.
body built. That ligature would have torn. That ligature would have torn. And also what Jason in his report said, that when with the pressure, when one hangs, then the pressure on the fan cannot, either the fan will be broken, or the fan will be dysfunctional or bend or something.
Something will happen to it, yes.
So when these things are noticed and seen, that nothing has happened to the fan, even in Sushant's case, nothing had happened to the fan, especially
Not only that, the height thing is also
Yeah.
the discrepancy in Sushant's case. In Jia Khan's case,
and
I
the
think
body weight,
Yes.
weight, with that you take a stone or a rock of that weight, and you tie it with that flimsy dupatta, and then let it drop, because when somebody is wanting to commit suicide, they'll drop themselves, right?
Yeah.
So when
Yes.
you drop, there are certain imprints that are created,
Yeah.
and then the pressure with what it drops, that what body weight, you let yourself go, so the fan, it cannot be intact.
Yeah.
It cannot be
And
intact.
that also, Rabbiya ji, that also, and another thing is that there is something called histopathological report.
Yes.
I mean, which that is examining the tissues which were damaged, I mean, around that, under the microscope.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, histopathology, I asked 2000 times, I asked police, they said, वो तो आप कोर्ट से ले लो. भाई आपने मुझे तस्वीरें दे दी, आपने मुझे सारी फोरेंसिक रिपोर्ट्स दे दी हैं. जब मैंने आपसे वीडियोग्राफी मांगी जिया की, और आपसे मैंने हिस्टोपैथोलॉजी मांगी, why? Because Dr. R.K. Sharma said that until I don't receive these two items, I cannot give you my final report.
Yeah.
So these two things, then the IO said, oh, take it from the court. We went to magistrate court to acquire it. The magistrate court, the judge had cold feet, and he said he can't. You go to high court and ask it. I went to high court. Then the high court, it was date after date, and the high court had cold feet. They said, the matter is going to CBI. You take it from CBI. When I asked CBI officer, he said, send it in writing. We will give you, but you have to write to us and ask. We wrote thousands of letters. Not once we received any reply of any of those emails. Then, then when the charge sheet was filed, we saw the histopathology report. Coming to the most important thing is that in the case of hangings, forget about anything else. The most important is the knot and the histopathology, because
Yes.
histopathology is actually the microscopic dissection of that particular mark, where the ligature has left the mark. So you dissect that to know what the material was. So,
So
when
there
you
are,
come to know the,
so there
when you
are,
come to know, sorry.
yeah, there are scientifically prescribed procedures,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
standard operating procedures and protocols mentioned in the police manual, and they are given training for that,
Yes,
okay,
yes.
to apply for that.
Absolutely.
And not only
Yeah.
that, Rabbiya ji, if the police has not done its duty, I mean, as it should have done, even the executive magistrate or someone at the district magistrate level, they have the power to order an inquest.
Yes,
Okay.
the inquest was not done in Jia's case. So the inquest is not done in a case of Sushant and Disha. So how did they announce that this death is by hanging, or this is a suicide? So after the inquest, but inquest can be requested even now. An inquest can be requested now.
It could be it could be requested by the family.
Yes, it can be.
Yes, it can be requested by the
Also
family.
the lawyer. The
Also
lawyer
the
can.
lawyer, yeah.
Yeah, it is up to the judge whether he wants to give that order or not. So histopathology, they did not give me. I received in the chart sheet. When we received in the chart sheet, there was histopathology of liver, of heart, of other
Other
organs,
parts.
but not of the neck.
Except this part.
Except the main.
Except the main. Now, who is interested in the heart and the liver? The girl was found not by liver dysfunctional or anything. She was found hanging. So the most important is the histopathology of the neck. The histopathology of the neck, the skin that was dissected was not sent to the laboratory. Now, this is what I told you, Meena ji, last time also. Wherever there is truth, that part has been covered. Because the truth will come out if you have the histopathology of the neck. Do you understand me? Because it will be very clear. Now, anywhere, any part of the world, you can see.
Rabbiya ji, just can you just repeat that bit, because I think
Yeah.
we just lost contact. Just that small portion that you said just now.
I am saying that wherever there is truth, they try to cover it. Because if the histopathology of the neck was there, the truth was there. And in Jia's forensic reports, it says the final, because the neck histopathology was not sent to the doctors, post-mortem doctors. So they said that we are still waiting for the final report. That final report is still being has not been received. So we cannot say that this is a case of suicide. We are waiting. After the final report, we can give you the complete conclusion. So the cause of death of Jia has never been established. This is exactly what the panels have established in their report. They said, I am sorry, Honorable CBI and the police, you people have not,
you mean you mean even in the end it was not established?
No.
Oh.
If you read both the chart sheets and go through the forensic reports, the cause of death of Jia has never been established.
It hasn't been, yeah.
Because the doctors, post-mortem doctors are saying the final report is still being awaited. Now, where did that report disappear? Why did that report was not, FSL report was not given to the post-mortem doctors? To get the conclusion of the Jia's cause of death.
Yeah.
And even the basic things, even the basic things, like, I mean, is it possible for Jia Khan to reach the fan height to put the cloth over it, or is it possible, or did she use a aid like some stool or something to reach that? These are I think crimes and reconstruction has not been done, so these all have been left out.
Let's say that, Deepti, because there was a bed. Now, when somebody is going to hang, if you have a stool, you push the stool and then you are hanging.
Yes.
Now, you can't push the bed. Either you will be standing on the bed. Am I right, Meena?
Yeah. Yes,
you are standing
absolutely
on the bed and tying that dupatta, and then where you're going to hang.
Yeah.
So you need, the bed is there.
Space.
You can't put the bed to hang yourself. So this was the most important aspect in Jia Khan's case, as well as in Sushant's.
Yeah.
If you look at Sushant's, his body is, vertical or bent, but standing on the bed.
Absolutely.
So now, what I'm saying that, do you think if police has done this deliberately under pressure, CBI could have not gone deeper and dug it out? So that means, and CBI is a central agency. So if CBI has not done similarly in Sushant's case, so they have not done, these 3 deaths have not been established. So the truth is that it has not been established because they are murders. And obviously they are protecting somebody.
Rabbiya ji, see, I don't know whether you can tell me this, but could you, I mean, in your mind, you've been going this by, minute detail. Everything has been covered by you in minute detail through all your sources. Can you reconstruct the crime yourself and tell our viewers?
Meena ji, let me tell you, there was a prosecutor, CBI changed many prosecutors during the trial of 8 years. There was one prosecutor, again, I will not mention his name. It was a CBI prosecutor who with his team came to our house, to the crime scene. And he's famous, he has done cases where, influential cases, where his life was also under threat, where 306 was converted into 302. When he came to the crime scene and saw, he calculated, he reconstructed it, and he said, excuse me, Jia Khan never died here. Jia Khan died in her own bedroom, and she was hanged in a guest bedroom. So he went, when there was a following week, there was a hearing, he asked for particular witnesses to come. The accuser's lawyers, everybody got alarmed that what is happening? How is suddenly CBI prosecutor is asking the right questions? And believe me, he was forced to leave. His entire force. First time I saw one prosecutor asking me the right questions. And he was removed, Minaji.
So Rabbiya ji, Rabbiya ji, if I'm not wrong, during the course of your case proceedings in the court, I think around 3 judges have been transferred?
More. Minimum I can remember are probably maybe 4.
And CBI officers who also were trying to
CBI
help you, they have been...
Numerous prosecutors. One previous prosecutor before this person, he didn't even want to know my name. I had to introduce myself to him. Do you know whose case you're fighting? Who you're going to prosecute? Are you going to prosecute me or the criminal who has killed my child? I asked him, I said, do you have children? So he said, yes. I said, then I'm happy that you have children, so you will know my pain.
Again, I come back to the same point, Rabbiya ji. See, as a mother, you know every detail of the case, everything that has happened, okay? Right from the time when she called you and you were at a dinner, and till the time you came back and you saw her hanging, or the dead body. Can you reconstruct and tell our viewers that what happened? According to you.
I have to say one thing, that when I saw Jia, I saw that she had visual injury marks under her chin. So even the panel says the visual evidence of blunt force injury on Miss Khan's mouth, right, and ear, does not appear to have been present earlier, for which there is no explanation. Because you can see on CCTV, she's coming and going. She didn't have any injury on her lips. She didn't have, you can see from CCTV, she's looking at CCTV, there is no injury. She's got she's hardly got any makeup, and there is no injury because she's looking up. So her chin is clean and her lips are clean. Miss Khan had a bruise in the inner aspect of her arm. She had a bruise over here. So when you hold somebody, so a bruise is created. As CBI and police said, that is a lividity mark. Now, lividity is only when you are under the pressure, when you're lying. But you can't be lying over here, only on one spot. Then there's a panel agreed to Dr. Jason's opinion, and said these factors should have raised possibility that Miss Khan's death was not by self-hanging, but as a suicide, but by being suspended by other person and persons. So there are many times where the panel has taken out. So this is the reconstruction. The reconstruction that you're asking me, actually, when you look at reconstruction, this is the reconstruction.
See, Rabbiya ji, see, many of us or viewers have seen a video where we see Aditya Pancholi moving, near the CCTV camera.
Yeah.
Okay. When was this?
The CCTV camera and his movement I saw only after when police had shown me.
Yeah.
When we received the CCTV footages after 15 days or so, 10, 15 days. So that's when I saw, and I questioned that to Anju Mahendru. So Anju Mahendru said it was Aditya Pancholi who had brought us to the house. And then he came there 2-3 times afterwards. So that is now when they came over there, what were they doing? Because I was in shock and with other friends in the hall, and they were roaming around in the crime scene. So were they picking up the tracksuit? What were they doing?
So here can I ask you a question, Rabbiya ji? See, if you can answer it, if you don't want to, it's up to you.
No, I see Aditya Pancholi. I see Aditya Pancholi, who is on the phone all the time. I also see, and I questioned, and these are the questions we raised in the court also. But I don't understand why police and CBI do not want to question him. Police had taken his statement, but CBI till today has never taken his statement, never even included his name in the charge sheet. Now that was again a deliberate act. As I'm telling you, wherever there is a light, they want to cover it. They don't want to tell. I asked the officer, he said, "Madam, we do not want to put every detail in the charge sheet. We do not want to alert, our defense forces." So this was the explanation given to me. So I said, then when am I going to get the answers? Because these answers...
Rabbiya ji, I just want to ask you one question. Again, see, it's up to you whether you want to answer it. Throughout, when Jia was alive, she told you that she perhaps, I don't know whether she told you vocally or whether she herself felt it, that Anju Mahendru is not to be trusted. Okay.
Yeah.
So how did she become your friend? How did she become your friend?
Anju Mahendru, I knew, when I started my career in the film industry, and then I got married, and there was a big gap that I did not know. Then from 1998 or 1990, like that, I again connected, and frequently she came and stayed in my home in London, so we became friends. But I don't think so my friendship with her is so deep as Aditya Pancholi's friendship with her is.
But when you realized that things were leaking out to the Pancholi family through her, and that's what Jia was scared of, did you start avoiding her? Yes.
One day what happened, I was entering Anju Mahendru's house, and I heard Moin Beg, who is Aditya Pancholi's bestie. As you can see, during the funeral, it was only him who was supporting. It was him who brought Aditya Pancholi also at 3 o'clock in the morning. And he came, he said, "Are mera gandu, bacche ne to apne career ki vaat laga di, are ye to bachchi thi," all that kind of stuff, And he fell down at my feet and started crying and apologizing. I said, "What's going on over here?" And then he goes into the crime scene. So that was Munnu who brought. He's called Munnu. His actual name is Moin Beg. So Moin Beg was standing with Anju Mahendru, and I was about to walk in when I heard him saying, "Are maine to usko latakne dena tha."
My God.
So I said, "What is it? Are mujhe usko niche nahi leke aana tha, mujhe to ise latakne dene tha." Immediately, I took a U-turn and went away. My heart bled. I cried. Ever since that day, And somebody inside also told me that when Surat Pancholi was released on bail, he was straight brought to her house and said, "Inke to pair chho, inhone tumko bacha liya." So these are the things. And then shouting at somebody who was there in the hospital that why were you there, why you're supporting. So these things made me think twice that what game is she playing. In one moment she's at my house giving me I want to do the memorial, I want to do this for you, and second moment she's playing a double game with me. So I said, I was very heartbroken. Because when I was her friend, it was a genuine friendship that I had offered. And my daughter, what wrong? Are ye to mere ghar aati nahi thi. Are, if my daughter is not going to her house, she has been told by her boyfriend not to go to your house, not to visit your house. Do you understand me? My Jia
Rabbiya ji, you just reverse to the time when you heard these words. What happened to you?
When I heard these words, I was, Minaji, heartbroken. I am still very teary right now as I'm discussing, because I felt deceived. My daughter was deceived through her boyfriend. I was deceived through my girlfriend. And I think nobody can. And one day I was crying and I said, my daughter has been killed. And I thought she will come and give me a hug. It was in her house. She didn't. She did not.
There was also something that Mahesh Bhatt told you at the funeral. Can you please tell our viewers?
Yeah, I was crying, like wailing, in fact, and I said, no, sir, my daughter was not depressed. He went on with his whole depression theory. I don't know how he gets his depression theory. That is also beyond my understanding. So I said, no, my daughter was not depressed, Isko maar diya hai.
You mean to say that he said that she was depressed?
Yeah, he came depressed. I said, no, sir, she was not depressed. Please stop it. Please stop it.
I'm very sorry to make you recall that, but this is something very important for our viewers to know. Why this man said that?
I don't know why he said.
Rabbiya
and he also told you one more sentence. A second, Deepti.
Let me tell you, I hold myself all the time when there is a reconstruction in my mind, or whenever I talk. I keep a very, very strong front. And that must be because I'm fighting for my child. But inside, my soul is gone. My soul is gone with my baby. I'm just here, probably fighting not only for her, for others who have been brutally killed. So
he also said one more sentence.
He said, "Chup ho jana, tere ko bhi injection deke sula denge." मुझे कोई परवाह नहीं है, मुझे सुला दो। मेरे बच्चे का क्या कसूर था, मुझे ये बताइए। मेरे बच्चे का यही कसूर था कि उसने अपने पैसे मांगे, जो उसने पैसे दिए थे ज्वेलरी बनाने के लिए, राइट। मुझे कई दफा उसने कहा कि जब भी मैं उसके घर जाती हूँ, मेरे हैंडबैग से पैसे निकल जाते हैं। मैंने कहा, तू मत लेके जाया कर पैसे। पता नहीं आप किसी के पर ब्लेम तो कर नहीं सकते। हमें क्या मालूम है कौन आता है उसके घर में, कौन जाता है। she was referring to Suraj Pancholi. So I said, I don't know. घर में नौकर भी आते हैं, बाहर वाले भी आते हैं, तुम अपने बैग में क्यों इतने पैसे लेके जाती हो? So
but here, Rabbiya ji, one more question I'd like to ask you. Since Mahesh Bhatt was speaking to you in a very familiar tone, was he friendly with you and Jia?
No. Mahesh Bhatt was never friendly after that episode that happened in Dubai.
Before?
And I don't want to discuss.
What episode in Dubai?
In Dubai, my daughter was 16, and she was, we are British citizens. So you need legal contract in order to work in India. So nothing was done. They were shooting. They started the shooting. They were shooting in Dubai, and the whole.
This is for a Mahesh Bhatt film.
Yeah. And the whole treatment, I kept on asking for the contract, it is not. And my daughter is only 16 underage. Yes. I have to be there. His motto was that I should not be on the set. I should leave her alone and go away. I said, I'm not leaving her alone and go away. अरे तुम तुम्हारी जैसी मैंने कोई सांप नहीं देखी है जो बैठी है अपनी बेटी के सीने पे and all like that. But कैसी माँ, and such galis that my daughter really walked out. She said, excuse me, my mother, he's talking like this for my mother, and she walked away. I said, नहीं बेबो ऐसे नहीं करते हैं बच्चा, तुमने कॉन्ट्रैक्ट साइन, तुमने फिल्म में हाँ कर दी है, इतनी शूट हो गई है, कोई बात नहीं, ये लोग इनकी तो आदत है औरतों की बेइज्जती करना, ये वो, तो रहने दो बेटा, तुम कर लो. नहीं मम्मी, I don't want. She walked away. She walked away from the film. I was feeling bad कि मेरी तो मैंने कहा I am thick skinned बेटा, कह दिया तो कह दिया, उसका कर्म, उसको अपना कर्म खराब कर रहा है, मुझे क्या है, तुम अपना काम करो. नहीं बेटा, नहीं मम्मी, the whole atmosphere is so hostile. And she left.
On hindsight, Rabbiya ji, see, when you knew that the industry is so dirty
जी.
and men treat women like objects, sex objects, why did you allow her to go into that field?
मैंने नहीं अलाउ किया. प्लीज, ये जो लोग कहते हैं बिकॉज मैं माँ हूँ तो सारा ब्लेम माँ के पर कर दो. अरे भाई, मेरी बच्ची जब 17 साल की थी, she cut an album, right? She was 15 when she started singing, and she was a very well trained singer. When she was young, she used to appear like for UNICEF. She did a short film for UNICEF. She was studying film in college. So you tell me that a girl passion is. I was adamant, if you want to do films, do it in England, do it in America. So during that time, when my daughter was 15, I was producing and directing a Indian TV serial for British Asians. That is the time Mr. Bhatt had come to our set. And he saw Jia. Ever since then, he had set his mind that this girl is talented and I would like to cast her. Fair enough, When Mr. Bhatt called her and was casting her, I was objecting. Jia and myself had a fight. Arguments. She said, why, mommy? You are educating me so that I can stand on my feet and all. Here I have an offer and you're objecting. You are objecting on my career. This is the path I need to take. I said, all right, let's try. Mr. Bhatt spoke to me. We flew down. Everything was going smooth. We went to Dubai. Things started to, fall apart. God knows. They know the agenda. I don't know the agenda. Yeah, right? So we walked out. This is how it happened. Then I told her, Bebo, if you are so keen and interested, first of all, pursue your university. If you are so keen and interested, then you go to Lee Strasberg, New York. I will fund your education. 2 years you spend over there, and then you will get agents in Hollywood, and you can work in Hollywood. Fair enough. We were on a holiday, Meena ji, in Bombay. Jia came from Lee Strasberg, from New York, flew down to Bombay. She, through friends, sources, met Ram Gopal Verma. And that's where she was signed for Nishant. So this was not planned or presumed. It was accident. Very accidental. She was reluctant. We came back to London. Then in the month of March, she received a call. She said, Mr. Bachchan likes you to be casted. So please fly down. 20th March, we flew down. She flew down. I didn't go. Because now my daughter is 18. And she has been to Lee Strasberg. She has lived alone in New York. Her mother was not there. My other 2 little daughters were in school, so I was taking care of them. My daughter lived alone in New York. So she can live. She has got a house in Bombay. She can live. And she was taking care of herself very well. So when she wants to go on a shoot, if she would have been working in the office, I would not go chaperoning to her, with her to the office. So this is also a profession. So she flew down with the whole team to Munnar, to South India. In 20 days, they completed the film and she came back. She flew back to London. So this is how, when Nishad released, that's when she became a star. So all the time she was with me.
So that's, I think, very clear for the viewers now.
So it is not my decision. It was my daughter's journey. It was a passion. Yes, I was a support. Why will I not be a support when she's so adamant? If I will come on her way, then she will probably, she's on her journey. then I don't know what would be the consequences, So I need to be by her side as a support. So I show them the right route. Go to Lee Strasberg, study what film is all about, mature yourself, and then you join. The world is yours. And you have seen the result to that, how she carried Nishabd on her shoulder. She acted with Amir Khan, during Gajni. She invited me to be there with her in Hyderabad, and I was there with her in Hyderabad. Nobody objected. Nobody said anything because Gia wanted me. But then in Houseful, she was shooting in Italy, and she said, "I wish, mommy, you were there." I said, "Why?" So Sajid, he gets on my nerves. I said, "Sweetheart, there are so many other senior actors and all like that. You can always go and put a complaint," which she did manage.
But you know that who were acting in his movie, they're all friends.
Yeah, they're all. I don't know why they think like this, because it's a very wrong approach. Everybody is.
Yes, Deepti.
See, Meenaji, we should not forget, we are now coming to know. I came to know after 2018. Now the rest of the world, rest of India is coming to know. Unfortunately, after Sushant's death, they are coming to sue the correct. Otherwise, before that, they were icons. Yeah, they were icons, right? Salman Khan, Shah Rukh Khan, before Sushant's death, their image was something else. Amitabh Bachchan, demigod and everything. I mean, so naturally, I mean, it's not that, knowing that such filth is there, someone would send that people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Another question, Rabbiya ji. Another question, Rabbiya ji, is that, see, so now we go on to the fact that, see, there's a person stalking her, okay, and seeing her as prey because now she's single and she's getting a lot of money, so she can be sponged upon, and used.
Yes.
Is something that we all now seem to go to.
My question is, Meenaji, when he is in communication with me on BlackBerry, he sent me the letter, "Oh, I got drunk and I lost it on Gia." He was in communication with me. I still have all his communications, right? So that time when you're going through a bad patch in a relationship, or accidentally Gia got pregnant, then why are you not telling me? And why you are not telling me at that time that Gia is depressed? Where you are telling me that she's the best thing that has happened to you. So that is when what I'm saying, why did you not say then that Gia is depressed? Auntie, please do something about it. Right? You are telling me that, can you tell her not to leave me and give me another chance?
See, Rabbiya ji, you met Suraj. What was your opinion about this boy when you met him?
Initially, when I met him, I found him charming. And I found him, he spoke very little. He is not, I don't know how, that's what used to surprise me, that how he communicates with Gia, because with me, there was hardly any communication. And most of the time, it was either Gia talking or myself. And what made me very skeptical about him was that he would make an appointment with me, right? Or Gia told me that you make fantastic chicken biryani. So this Sunday I'm going to come, and have chicken biryani. I said, okay, fine. And then suddenly he's not there. My chicken biryani is ready and he's not there. So like that, a couple of times these things happened. Even with Gia, I'll meet you at 7:00 at so-and-so place. And then, suddenly I've got to go to Panvel somewhere to the farmhouse and I can't make it. And then suddenly then would appear, oh, what happened? Now we have changed our plans and now he...
The famous Panvel farmhouse.
So there was no consistency or anything. And, with Gia, so many times, appointments cancelled. And so I said, at least an etiquette says that, you say, sorry, auntie, I can't make it up. No etiquette, no manners. So I said, and many things accumulated over the period of time, what Gia told me. So all these accumulation. The worst was when he comes to me to ask for space and then does not give her space. So I said, and then telling me that I want to marry Gia and telling father I'm not with Gia. We are broken.
See, in this case, Rabbiya ji, see, in most cases of abuse, physical abuse, a partner keeps going back to the perpetrator. So do you think Jia was a case of that as well?
Absolutely. Absolutely by the book. If you read about the narcissist and people of that nature, it is by the book. And same pattern I noticed when I was reading about case on Sushant Singh, how whatever Riya Chakravarti actually did with Sushant, very same things was done by Suraj to Jia. It was such a blueprint.
And
Everything
another
was
similarity,
like a blueprint.
and another
Yes.
similarity here.
Yes, Deepti. Yeah.
Another similarity here, I'll tell you. Jia Khan was a woman of principles. She was not okay with. She had self-respect. Okay, and Sushant too was a man of principles. Okay, so that was the reason he was shunted out of. I mean, he was a thorn in many people's eyes, and similarly, okay, they both had people planted in their lives. Like Suraj also stalked Jia. Suraj stalked Jia. Okay. After some,
Also, Deepti, just one interesting
Yeah.
point for you is that there was a servant. This is again reports, okay, news reports. There was a servant who worked in Suraj Pancholi's house who was moved to Sushant's house by Riya.
Oh,
These criminals
I
keep
never knew
rotating. From one
Because
murder, from one jail, they go to one cornerstone. And also the cook who was working in Ishtan, now he's at Farhan Akhtar's house, if I'm not wrong.
No,
Right?
not that guy. Not that guy. It's not a
but-
cook.
but-
Someone who
No,
was
but there
working
is
there.
no. But
You
a
understand?
report,
And he was
Yeah, but-
he was called by NCB.
and also one of the staff who was with Sushant is now working for Farhan Akhtar.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
So you see,
But,
these people are circulating.
Yeah, please continue, Deepti.
no, but
Yeah.
it's very funny when you spoke about the servant.
Yeah.
I have to say that Jia had 2-3 staff. One cook used to come, and then she had a cleaner. And it has never been, that the staff wouldn't come. So the cook was told not to come, right? And the cleaner was also told, only come when Jia will call you. So whenever she would go, she was told, oh no, leave it now. So she was kept away. So Jia was absolutely isolated. No servant was also allowed. So when I asked the maid, we still have the maid, say, what happened? So I don't know, madam would, I would come. She would say at the door only, no, go today and I will call you. And then, for a day or so, there was no phone call. And, how could I do my job? And when she was there, she was intimidated by him. So she said, I don't want to get in that space or anything. So I would wait for madam's call to come and clean the house.
So which means maybe he did not want anybody to see, the abuse or what was happening.
Yeah,
Hey,
absolutely.
Minaji, Rabbiya ji.
Yes,
There's a
Deepti.
similar
Yeah.
there is a similar pattern here also. In Sushant's case, Riya too hijacked. I mean, she replaced the staff, and we don't know if during the last few days he had access to his phone and laptop or not. We don't know yet. Okay. And another thing is that people don't know, because in Sridevi's case, it is her husband, right? He kept her isolated. We couldn't ever make it out, because she has been, they have been married, and the image that was portrayed was of a loving husband who stalked her till she agreed to marriage and all. So, so no one suspected that. But the reports, which when I was investigating, this I'm getting, is the same. She didn't have her mobile with her. Isolation. She didn't have her mobile with her. Okay, and Shapi, she was monitored her every moment. Though whatever public functions she used to attend, people were monitoring her every moment. She was not allowed to talk to press. So we think that we see, oh my God, stars and all, but actual story is something different.
But Deepti, there are many videos where you see Sridevi and Boni Kapoor sitting, on a table and not talking to each other for at least 5 to 10 minutes.
Yes, that has happened, and also
so you get the feeler.
Yes.
No, once we were going to a melting pot restaurant opposite Marriott, and Gia said, "Mommy, can we invite Suraj?" I said, "Sure, invite him." So she invited. He came. In the entire dinner, he did not speak a word. Entire dinner. So that also, so there was lack of communication. My husband was there, myself, Gia. There was another friend of ours, and Suraj Pancholi was there. An entire dinner, there was no conversation from her, not a word. We tried to, prompt him and talk to him so that we can get answer. It was very brief, and I don't even have my memories of having an eye contact. He would always look here or there, never into your eyes.
Which is what the psychologist said, isn't it? When she was questioning.
Even if you read the psychological report, even that says. So what I'm saying, that panel actually, Meena ji went into every detail. And what shocked the panel was that we understand that police has done this deliberate job, but what about CBI? Why CBI did not look into all these, and I had to go through High Court and Supreme Court and screaming my ass. It's my child. If it is not the judge's concern or the court's concern about taking case of one mother or looking into one mother, excuse me, there is a uniqueness of each mother and each child. At least give me the truth. By not bringing me the truth, you are actually making this whole case, it could have been solved and gone and finished.
And for all you know, see, as you speak, these people who are retired are also listening to you.
It's very sad that, when they get the position and they are so empowered by
Rabbiya ji, see, it's you say 8 to 9 years, and you've been coming up and down as a dedicated mother who's lost a child and will not settle until you get justice. I mean, what a trauma! So many years. I mean, you are not getting a final conclusion to it. Nothing.
Yeah, nothing. And in fact, this report I have handed to CBI head. I've handed to the court, and court was very reluctant. When court is reluctant, we have got to go through so much, and everything cost money. Imagine every month I'm making 2 trips, me and my husband. I never travel alone. So imagine what is the count, how much is the ticket, and then coming over there, and then the judiciary, then the whole machinery cost money.
Yes.
So if you count for 8 years, calculate yourself, and I've never even calculated because it is my daughter, so I don't care about it. You understand me? Where it is coming, what
when we see you, we feel so sad, that it's just continuing and nobody is listening. You see, nobody is listening.
Yeah, deaf ears. They think that we are stupid and they are the most clever ones. But wait, time is the most clever.
Exactly.
And time
there is a supreme force. Yes.
Yeah, the supreme force will tell them somehow or the other. They may not fear karma now, but they will eventually fear when it will fall flat on their faces. So this is what I wanted to discuss with you about the panel report, that how they have been so disappointed with CBI. And they said, forget about national standard. Even in the international standard, they have not. I mean, international standard you forget, but the national standard, the domestic standard, एक तरीका होता है कि चलो डोमेस्टिक स्टैंडर्ड, हम नहीं कहते आप हार्वर्ड गए हैं और बेस्ट ऑफ द कॉलेजेस यूनिवर्सिटीज इन द वर्ल्ड टू स्टडी क्रिमिनोलॉजी, बट डोमेस्टिक स्टैंडर्ड से भी आप तो फेल हो गए हैं.
And even the people who want to show the truth are transferred.
Yes,
transferred and harassed.
I am being harassed now. I mean, I am being threatened now. I'll go tell about it in short. But see, the thing is that if the people who should be ensuring justice and law and order and all, if we have incidents like Paramveer and Vajay, okay, so they are the ones whose name has come up, and by now everyone knows that this is spread all around, this kind of thing. And if they are the ones who aid criminals and who protect them, because the last show of yours, Meenaji, I gave a strong statement that not only the criminals, but even the lawyers who are defending them and the judicial systems who is... See, I want to make one thing clear here. There are threats to charge me for, instigation of public hate. There are threats to now file FIR on me for that RTI response and all. I just want to ask one thing. I am not complaining. I'm not trying to show anyone down, or I'm not defaming the agencies or anything. I am just a common citizen who is very much concerned that if this is the state of celebrities, if this is the state of justice in case of celebrities who stood their ground and didn't give in to, the crime nexus that was happening around, I mean, what is the future of humanity and what is... See, we pay taxes, right?
No,
We pay
Deepti,
taxes. We pay taxes to you. You are accountable to us. Answer should be, you cannot stay silent. I mean, see, CBI is neither acknowledging my types nor denying it. But this side, I am being threatened of, for something. The RTA response, it
no,
was not
Deepti,
negative. It came that such communication doesn't exist. Okay, but now I am being threatened saying that they will file an FIR on that. Let me make one thing clear. If someone has to file FIR, take action on me, that should be the Department of Defense or the Ministry of Defense, whose letter I am supposed to have forced. If that's not happening, and if now because some certain big names are being exposed in the drive slides that I am sharing, if now these things happen, many relatives will come and I will be defamed. I might be maligned. I just want you people to understand one thing, to see the picture as it is. I just made that clear.
Absolutely.
no, Deepti ji, I have to say one thing. When the police wants it, they do it. They do it overnight. Look at Sheena Bora's case.
Yeah.
When they came to know, and because such high names like Peter Mukherjee and his wife was involved, so how quickly they looked into the forensic, right? They went, they got the skull, they did the forensic, they got the DNA, they got everything, and they put these two people behind bars. So it's not that. Now, in this case, like how Jason has put in his report, there are no marks of fingernails or broken fingernails which may be present when someone tries to hang themselves. Tell me, in Sushant's case, was there any broken nail or fingernails? If there are so many injuries and things like that, are there fingernails, marks of fingernails? There was nothing. So, and then attempt, you see, when somebody's trying to hang themselves, then they try to also protect themselves immediately. Spur of the moment, everything. So there was nothing like that in Jia's as well as Sushant's case. There is no fingernails or broken fingernails. And somebody, in fact, CBI asked me if, if I observed any fingernail or scratches on her thighs, on Jia's thigh. Why? I said, why? Why did you ask me? Said, because when somebody's trying to hang and kill, they want to hold on to something. So they dig their nails on their thighs.
Yeah.
And they close their fist very tight.
Yes, very tight, yes.
So nothing, her hands were like this, soft and warm and loose, nothing. It was like kisi ne leke aise hang kar diya usko. It was absolutely like that. And that is why I was very much convinced from that, ye kisne kiya? Meri bachi ko kisne mara?
Another question, Rabbiya ji. See, we saw a video where Aditya Pancholi is losing his temper with his neighbor. That became very viral all over social media. Okay, and do you think that the son could have inherited his anger in some sense?
You see, criminology is genetic, like father, like son. So criminology, if you look, it's genetic. It may be coming from God knows how many generations and all. And 100%.
There was also a fight. There was also a fight with Sushant Singh.
Yeah, there was a fight. I heard about that fight. And that fight was because he said that he knows what he did to Jia. And probably...
One more thing. People are saying that there's been a fight. We don't see. There's been a fight which has been covered in the media, or which came out in the media.
Yes.
There might have been many more fights before that as well.
Yeah.
You see, there was also professional jealousy.
Yeah, and also, Rabbiya ji, I'll tell you, there was a video where there was this girl, one of the actresses, the latest actress, I forget her name, Kriti Sanon. So Kriti Sanon and Sushant came in. I think it was in relation to some movie release or some party, and Suraj also came in, and we could see that both were trying to avoid each other. If Suraj was on the left side, Sushant was moving to the other side, and Kriti was trying to be polite to both the people. Knowing that, see, if she is not polite, she won't fit in. Okay, she is also the field. So these are all a lot of the videos that are going viral. So as you say, it may be genetic, the anger and that part.
Yeah, and where there is smoke, there is fire.
Yes.
You see, so we are not saying it just because, oh, my daughter, pointing fingers unnecessarily. We are looking at certain evidences and circumstances and putting two and two together, and that is how we are raising our questions and the suspicion. So if we as common people can, why is police CBI not looking into it? Somebody who was in close.
Another important thing I'll tell you, Rabbiya ji, see, when Sushant Singh died, all the news media was at the gate. They were taking pictures. So videos were going on, of people coming and going. There was one video taken by a news channel where Suraj is walking out of the gate.
Yeah, there's a saying now, the criminal always appears on the scene.
So I don't know whether he's a criminal or not, but he was coming from that scene, or he was trying to go into that scene.
No, I'm talking about the saying. It is a saying. General saying. Yeah, it's not that I'm saying that it is him, but it's a general saying.
Yeah. So what he had to do there is, we don't know what could have been the reason.
I don't know what was the reason for him to be there, but he's an accused in my daughter's case. You understand? So he being an accused in one case, what are you doing at that case? I mean, you should be more aware that you should not be on such crime scenes visible. If you already know that you have got one case going, which is on your head. I mean, that's a very stupid act, I must say, to appear into another crime scene.
Yes, Deepti?
Now, more than asking him this question, we should be asking, I mean, see, people who are answerable to us are the ones whom we pay taxes to, right? So why was the crime scene not sealed? And any unnatural death, okay, the police manual or the complex science of criminal investigations, whatever, it stresses on the fact that any unnatural death should be treated as homicide unless and until found otherwise. But here, that didn't happen. Exact opposite happened. Okay. So who will hold them accountable? हम पूछेंगे तो किससे पूछेंगे? I want to ask this question to the authorities. हम लोग पूछेंगे जाएंगे तो जाएंगे कहाँ? किससे पूछेंगे? Where should we go? Kindly guide us.
Look, they are whenever there is somebody killed and there is somebody influential involved, the police officers also get very paranoid because they do not know which direction to go because
absolutely.
Now we have got to fix this. So now they have got to fix it. So who is going to fix? अरे call that officer, उसने कितना अच्छा job किया था, कैसे fix कर दिया था, कैसे truth को hide कर दिया. So there is a replacement happening, and send that officer, he will fix it. So and these officers who are able to fix, they get promoted.
Yes, absolutely.
So now what are you doing? Are you there to save the victims and the citizens, or are you there to
protect the criminals?
Because there are higher stakes involved. There is a vested interest involved. An officer comes and says, bhai hamari posting kara do. And influential, people, they have got hands all over. They have got they have the reach. Like you've seen even in
somewhere, Rabbiya ji, I feel, correct me if I'm wrong. Sometimes, the most innocent, women or men are chosen and targeted because they don't know the modus operandi, and they're slowly pulled into this web, and finally they do what they want.
unfortunately, in Sushant's and Jia's case, the perpetrator seems to be quite similar, because of the similar traits and patterns. I won't speak about others because I do not know so much about. But yes, either the main thing is, Meenaji, the control and the power. So once these perpetrators get control over the victims,
Yes.
they cannot stand when the control is slipping out of their hand.
Yes. Yes.
So it is a very common. It's a common sense. You can see even in couples, when there are divorces. It is when the woman is becoming strong and now want to cut the ties, how that same man who loved you is become your enemy.
Yes.
Because he doesn't want you to be so powerful. So Jia was leaving and Jia understood, and Jia said, no, that's enough is enough. And the control slipped. So she had taken the control back into her. How come she's laughing? How come she's so happy? How come now she's got all the films? How come everything is happening for her?
Yeah.
What about me? What will happen of me? Do you understand me? Oh, she'll go further. So the progress, they can't see a woman becoming independent and going to go on a progression of her career. They can't. So this is all, enveloped in jealousy. And why you see such decadence, old decadents who are sitting 70, 80-year-old in film industry, how they dominate the youngsters? Only by shouting at them, by demeaning them, thinking that,
Here another factor common in these in 3-4 deaths. That is, we have Sushant, we have Jia Khan, we have
Disha.
Parveen Bhabhi as well. One common name that has come is Mahesh Bhatt, and his nephew David. Was found to have connections with some David, but then something. See, I don't understand why is this person ever called for interrogation. Okay, because of course, if people, if the intent was really there to bring the truth out, then he should have been a common factor in all the interrogations.
Initially, he was called for chai pani
and biscuits. But what I'm saying, Sushant's photographs that has been taken and the injuries that have been shown, Jia's, it is obvious when 6 officers came to my house, Meenaji, and I said, please look at the injuries that Jia had. So the officer, very high-end officer, high-rank officer, he said to the investigating officer, show me. So when she showed on a computer, he stood up and said, all 6 of them, madam, we'll get you justice. Now, what did that mean? Trust me. My name, the meaning of my name is trust. Trust me. And I trusted. I put my faith. And then what happened? Now, that was the talk evidence, no? What more talk evidence do you need? So even the forensic, what the worst are, Meenaji, the forensic doctor, whether it is Cooper or JJ Hospital, these government, under government hospitals. These doctors, now the body cannot go to the private hospital and no private doctor can give any analysis on the postmortem. It is always the government. Now the government forensic doctors have written on Jia's postmortem report that they can see a circular injury. And they have given the diameter, the circumference, all the measurements.
But the explanation for that has not been given till date.
Yeah, but they have at least observed and seen. Then why don't you find? And it is written very clearly that the mark on her, it says, the visual evidence of blunt force injury on Mrs. Khan's mouth and chin. So what CBI does, which is the most heartbreaking for me, they may force the doctors to say, can this happen with ligature? Now the ligature you have not shown to the doctors. So the doctors say, could be or could be not. So we want to see the ligature. अब लिगेचर कहाँ से लाएं? लिगेचर तो पुलिस दे नहीं रही है. लिगेचर तो अब किधर होगा? किसने डैमेज कर दिया? बगैर लिगेचर के.
नहीं, राबिया जी, ये in Sridevi's case, everything, reports and everything are there, which we have submitted, which is as crystal clear as water. There is no scope for doubt. That's how detailed reports we have submitted, along with embalming certificate, post-mortem report, original. But in spite of that, and we have some strong, what do you say, evidence as well. Big names. If you go through the Supreme Court documents that I have mentioned, you will just see. In spite of that, if the case, I had to approach International Court of Justice for, so I can understand. In your case, like, you are struggling to, say that there are proofs which have been overlooked.
No, my truth is out. Now they have decided. आप हम नहीं करते, चलो क्या कर लोगे तुम?
They're just not going to go anywhere.
हम तो कुछ भी नहीं कर सकते, because कोर्ट भी आपकी है, पुलिस भी आपकी है, बंदे भी आपके हैं, गवर्नमेंट भी आपकी है, सभी लोग आप ही के हैं.
You can do what you like.
हम तो कुछ नहीं कर सकते. हम तो आपको सच ही बता सकते हैं कि ये हमारा सच है और ये सच है. अब इस सच को भी आप लोग झुटलाना चाहते हो, ये आपकी मर्जी है. This is all we can do, Meenaji. Bring awareness.
Yes.
Awareness to the public, because it's the perception. They want to change the public's perception. अरे ये तो ड्रगी था, ये तो चरसी था, ये डिप्रेस्ड था, इसने अपने आप को सूली पे चढ़ा लिया. अच्छा, अगर ऐसा ही था तो उससे ज्यादा ड्रगी चरसी तो और घूम रहे हैं, वो क्यों नहीं सूली पर चढ़ जाते हैं? वो क्यों नहीं कमिट कर लेते हैं? जो 2 ग्लास वाइन के पी के या 1 ग्लास वाइन का पी के अगर सुसाइड करेगा तो हिंदुस्तान में कितनी मौतें होंगी रोज?
नहीं,
कोविड से ज्यादा तो सुसाइड होंगे.
I will tell you one thing here. NCB chief जो है Samir Wankre sir, okay, in one of the YouTuber show, he had come and he had admitted that when someone asked him, was Sushant taking drugs, he said no, not on his own. अब इससे ज्यादा बड़ी स्टेटमेंट हो क्या सकते हैं? एंड आई आस्क्ड दैट चैनल ओनर, व्हाई वाज इट नॉट मेड वायरल एंड व्हाई दिस थिंग वाज नॉट covered by the mainstream media? I mean, NCB chief coming and saying that no, he didn't do drugs, but in spite of that, in the mainstream media we have Riya Khan arrested in Sushant's drug case. I mean, they're misleading the headlines.
Yeah. I mean,
so viewers see Rabbiya Khan is wearing a t-shirt that reminds you of her daughter, Jia Khan. And it's years since she's been behind this. We appreciate the way she's been doing. She's tenacious and she hasn't, forgotten it even for a minute.
Hats off.
We the media, if we stand for the truth, we stand with her. And we will make sure that how much we can make people aware of it and how much we can help her to reach justice, we will do it. We are with you, Rabbiya ji, and you are welcome to our channel. Whenever you want to speak something more, please come, speak to our viewers, and we will spread the message for you and make sure that something will be done.
I wanted to bring out these topics was because of what happened to Sushant and Disha. So it is the similarity, and that is why I wanted to say to the audience through you, Meenaji, on your platform, that please, it's the perception that police wants to change, and police should understand that masses are not fooled.
Yes.
We are not foolish people. We have got common sense and we ask common questions.
Yeah.
And those questions should be.
And also the fact that, see, all these federal agencies are supposed to work independently without any influence. That is what makes them, what they are. And if there are external influences, these things should not happen.
Exactly. Why do we ask our court to transfer it to CBI? We give so much status, high status to CBI. See, it's high time for CBI to change their image now.
Yes.
They have to perform.
They have to perform. Some words, before we close. Deepti, would you like to say something?
No, Meenaji, I mean, I would rather stay. I will not be too on the face. Just I want to say that I am not against my government. I'm not against my agencies. I'm not trying to defame them. As a concerned citizen, I am just trying to bring awareness into the people as to how system is functioning and what can we do to actually change it for the good. Right. That's my only intention. And
I consider Deepti as a good Samaritan.
Yes.
doesn't have to be that you have got personal agenda that, about someone or the other. But as a good Samaritan, the soul is gone, of Sri Devi's soul is gone, Sushant, but there has to be somebody with a good soul to fight and stand for them.
Yes,
I
yes,
think
absolutely.
Deepti is a very good Samaritan who is working towards them and to give rest to the souls. Hats off to you, Deepti. Please carry on.
And all the people watching on our channel are all for justice,
Yes.
for Sushant, Disha, and Jia.
Yeah.
So on that note, we say goodbye.
Thank you,
Rabbiya.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All your
Thank you,
support.
Deepti.
Thank you so much. Good night. Thank you,
night.
Rabbiya.